Greetings, Soulswind here, and welcome to Let's Play Infinifactory. We're still on resource site 526.81, and this is the small excavator. Well, that is if I remember the puzzle's name correctly. Okay, so I've got two solutions here. We're looking at not the storyline, but okay, let's show the submission first. So we've got these. Basically, these blocks, when cut, will give these blocks. So we need to weld them together in this manner. And the lavender colored blocks will be produced by this machine here. Meanwhile, the white and gray one gets produced by this machine, over here. So here, it welds the two exhaust cubes together, very straightforward, and it's being sent through this little delay circuit here, which I've added, before it comes over here. So this is the complicated part. Firstly, let's observe the boxes going through. The first box comes over there, passes through the pusher, and goes away. Oh, why is this hanging there? Anyway, goes over here. This triggers the sensor that pushes the second block to here. So what I wanted to do was to have two blocks come over for cutting, and two blocks come over here for welding, right? That's what it seems like from here. But if we observe further, after cutting, this block reaches another sensor that's connected to the pusher. So it's one block cut, two blocks weld. And if we look over here, a one block cut, two blocks weld, like that, or horizontally, will give us a two blocks cut, four blocks in twos. So how do we do that? Basically, that's one cut over here, waiting, while the two that cut block caused to move are ready to be moved off. It gets rotated here and moves along to the bottom and drops down. So one more gets cut while it causes another to push, which is already by default there. So this drops down there and stays there waiting. The two that got cut gets welded, gets pushed along to here where that conveyor belt will move it out. Meanwhile, these two blocks are getting welded, so let's see this first. So it adjusts this back in position over here. This gets rotated and over here, but as the cut blocks come over here, it triggers the sensor regardless of the layout of the block. It doesn't matter, like, you know, it should go through, but don't worry about the cut, it doesn't matter. This part, empty space, still triggers this. As long as there's a block, regardless of what it's made of or anything, it triggers the sensor. The sensor pushes these two in front. So because we have got these here and these here, so while it goes in front, these come out in front. So the excavator bottom part is complete, while the top part is not complete. So this engine thingy comes over here, while that part comes over from there. So the engine comes here and waits here. This part comes over, gets welded to the engine, so that's the top part of the excavator. The bottom part, okay, it gets welded there and gets pushed over to here, It goes out from here into there and drops down there. I'll show you again later. This one gets pushed along after welding by this set of welded materials over from here and drops down just as the bottom comes around to be merged together into the excavator. So basically, when it comes down, the bottom part just stays around here, while the top part gets over here and gets pushed along over to here. So that's the submission. So let's look at this part again. Okay. Oh, we missed that already, didn't we? But you could have seen how it works. The top part, the excavator part, comes down, gets in touch with these belts, and it just loops out and here and then drops down. Again, let's observe this portion. The bottom part comes here and waits there because there's no other movement. The top part has got no movement, so it requires this pusher to push it into contact with this one, and goes for submission. So now let's have an overview of this all over again, and let's observe the rest of the blocks move. So of course, there can be quite a bit of improvements because, you know, as it moves along here, it's a 2 block, so I can definitely add gaps to reduce the blocks, though not the footprint. And this is quite an utter waste of footprint space, but it's okay. My aim was to complete the puzzle. It's kinda cool, right? Seeing how things just fall into place like this. That is the amazing part of this game. Like, you know, each part comes into their positions respectively. That part waits there, this part goes down there, gets pushed over there. This part comes over here and meets the other part together and go. Like, you see that one is over there? Aha, okay, never mind. So, now we have got 337 as our cycle score, 167 as the footprint, and 138 as the block score. Of course, we've got better scores. I cannot remember what achievement I was trying to aim for, but I'll check and let you know, and also show you the other solution I have there. So I'll see you back here in a while. So the aim was to get a footprint of less than 135. The previous one was obviously massive. This, however, is really much more compact. Of course, there can be much improvements in the blocks and everything, but let's first observe how this whole thing works. This, again, is very standard. Basically, just wait for another one and combine. And there is no more delay circuit here now. So it comes straight over here, and we need to provide it with a waiting platform over here for the rest to come over and join them. So you can see here, every of the welding for the other 2x2 components take place here, like that. So this one is very straightforward. Let's look at the rest. Do we have any blocks inside? No, not yet. So the first block comes out and waits over there. The second block comes out, pushes the first block in here to here and waits over there. The third block comes out, that pushes the second block and the first block away into there, and because this block reaches here, it triggers the sensor to push the 2 blocks in for welding. Meanwhile, it also triggers the sensor to push this third block into here for cutting. So again, it's a 1:2 ratio. 1 cut, 2 move away. 1 cut, 2 move away. So that's how this part works. So this block, instead of cutting the first block as was the solution in the earlier part of the video, now I put the cutting as the third block. Meanwhile, these other blocks have time to get in position. So that we have the cutting, which is right in front, be the momentum for movement, or be the cause for movement. Meanwhile, this one gets over here, welded, pushed out by the rollers, the belt, and drops down here for some movement along the way to here, while that one waits there. So it's really cleaner, definitely, and it waits here. Meanwhile, the engines are ready to come over here. And while the engine's about to come, you can see that the second part, caused by the second portion of this excavation scoop, is done. And this part comes over here first, while the third one gets ready to be cut and joins over there, gets cut, comes over here. So all the other elements fall into place, and the final piece drops down here. This is very sensitive and timed properly. The input rate cannot be changed because this has to wait right here while these things fall. If it goes in deeper, it may cause a problem because it may be blocked, or it may cause these to be stuck here and not move along here. So the input rate can no longer be changed, but as it falls and clears, that piece can fall back in place again. Meanwhile, this conveyor belt continues to push the engine further forward and goes over here for a submission. So that's that. You can see that it's really intricate. I can show you how I can add the input rate and things will really change greatly. I believe so. But let's let them go in place first. We just observe the whole thing in motion, in action. See, now all of them come together at a welding station. So it's now a combined welding station. So here we don't need to differentiate the two that's on top of each other. The top one just drops down, the bottom one comes in here, slides in here, does a full welding, and then the last one, the scoop, comes over. So instead of using pushers and sensors to push the second set away, there is no need to do. And here we have these scores. I don't know why the block score is increased by 1. I'm not too sure what happened there. I think I may have accidentally put a block somewhere, but it's okay. So it's so much improved and it's at the best. Of course, the cycle score is still not good enough. So let's improve the input rate and we'll see what happens. We forward that. Aha, you see that? You see that? You see the problem there now? You see the problem there now? That's why. And if we introduce a delay over here of 1 block, it might not be as good. So the other way I can do it is to introduce some sort of a delay here to wait for that thing to come over, but that is still not good enough because I cannot have any sensors for the top one sliding in, since the bottom one passes through the same area the top one drops down from. So it's not possible to wait for the second set to come in. So the triggering sensor must be either the scoop or the engines. So the other way I can do it is for the engine to come over here. So basically, I can introduce a bit of a delay. Suppose I'm just making some changes based on like, what do you call that? Conjectures, yeah. So maybe I can have this here that will push that along, and again I may need to introduce delays. So let's see, how soon is that going to appear? Oh, why is that block there? Ah, yes. Okay, so it needs to be here because it's not passing through far enough. Yeah. Okay, comes over here, and this one comes by too soon. So it needs to be delayed just a little bit, possibly using a pusher over here or a blocker over here. So I'll cut forward a little bit because I need to access the blocker. Oh, actually, I don't think we have access to the blocker here yet. That's a tool for later, for the future. So, yep, we cannot block anything now. So, I guess, yeah, it's not possible to do that. So it's not, the other way I can do it is to again introduce a bit of a delay here. If I want to increase the cycle score, so introduce a bit of a delay over there so that that part comes in last. Oops. Yeah, that part has to come in last. Let's see, maybe like that. Will it work? Yep, it's not working. Right, actually I can do something to make it work. Like that. That will help it work. So it drops there, gets pushed down there, and goes in there. So everything still falls in place. And with that, I now have a greater cycle score, I think. Let's see if we can improve the cycle speed even greater. Max. Let's max it fully. Let's see if it works still. Okay. Nope, not okay. Wait, what? Okay, seriously? Ah, okay, see, it's all messed up now. So, always test your circuit. It may work the first one, and by luck, the second one, but it will not keep on working. So let's see what was the problem if we maximize the speed. This one is not coming too early actually. This one is still coming kind of, no, it's coming too early actually. Let's delay it a little bit more. So over there. Okay, yep, it's not working, so nope. So that bit of a delay is fine, but we can only increase the rate by +1, sacrificing 4 more footprints, 4 more blocks. Right, so then we increase by 1 input rate. We'll see how much that gives us. But on top of that, we can give some increase or improvements in blocks used through the use of these things over here. Basically spacing them out. Oops. And no, this is necessary. It needs to reach the end. And what else? Over here, I think it's not necessary. Let's see. Can it drop down there? Yep, it's okay. Over there, and it goes in there. Absolutely fine. So over here, there's one more, but it's okay. And this is necessary as well. So, yep. Is this necessary? Well, I can move that in there a little bit, but it's okay. I'll settle with this one. It's fine. So I'm taking 4 more footprints. Actually, not really 4 more, but because it comes over here, so it's 6 more footprints. While I get an improvement of... Oh wait, hang on. Can I introduce a delay here? Instead of these things, can I introduce a bit of a delay here? Like, literally just have this. Just have that there. It goes there, okay, fine. Oh, okay, nope. So, nope. Nope. Doesn't work. So, yeah, it's fine. Just wanted to try that. It's okay. So, yeah. It's generally the same. It still operates the same way. You can see that. It still operates the same way, just with minor tweaks to the timing and saving on some blocks from the conveyor belt, adding a little bit of a footprint though, unfortunately. So the footprint score will suffer a little bit, but the block score should improve. The block score is 69 now. It was 76 and then 75 was the best somehow. There was an extra block somewhere, isn't it? I think there was an extra bit somewhere. Can't remember why. Oh, okay, never mind. Anyway, so now we have a 6 block sacrifice on the footprint score to get a vast improvement of cycle score from 212 to now 158. So that's a difference of 54. And we also get an improvement of 6 in block score, sacrificing the footprint, so they cancel each other out over here. But with this cancellation, we get so much improvement here, so that's absolutely worth it. And I think that's what I want for this puzzle. So let me know. Oh, am I falling? Whoa. Right, okay, stand here and look here. Right, so let me know if there can be any improvements on this circuit without making fast changes to it. And yeah, that's all I have for now. Have a nice day. Hey, I'm still here. It's not over yet. Basically, what about the achievement? 140 cycles or less? Yes, this can. So what happens is that these two, they just come out and get welded, so there is no problem with that. These things are just to reduce the number of blocks used. Doesn't do anything to delay them. We'll come back in a while. Meanwhile, let's see this. This is more important. The blocks come out. The first block triggers a sensor to push the two behind away. So instead of waiting for the third block to arrive here, it's letting the first block arrive there first. And then the other two moves separately so that one block does not have to wait for the other. They both arrive at the same time and they drop down there. And then while the engine and the cutting part or the support part is still there, this one comes over, comes down here and waits here. And then the next level falls down there and gets welded together, waiting to be submitted. Now we are missing only the support part, the part where it's used for lifting of goods, and the engine part, the thing probably for extraterrestrial hovering or something. So this is waiting here for the next set because this one is taking some time to arrive. So it comes over. Meanwhile, these start stacking, but it's not affected by any other things because they are not welded together, so it's okay. Now the engine is here. Meanwhile, this one pushes the first one away and comes out here. Of course, the engine will arrive first and go down there. And then this one goes down there. It's welded and pushed to submission, okay? So what happens is that when this one falls down to the bottom, it causes this to trigger the sensor over here, and this causes the pusher to be activated and extends it out to block. Meanwhile, a new set of engine that comes over will then store separately from the one below. And while this whole set is still here, this one stays on top, so that it will not fall too early and get welded with this bottom part instead. When it goes there and waits on there, like falls right away, waits on there and gets welded to this one, instead it will fall slightly above this so that it gets welded to this one. You can see that over there. Now the rest keeps on coming. Meanwhile, this one starts to arrive again. So now it's getting more and more delayed, right? It's getting later and later. We've got 2 sets of this already. We've got 1 set ready, but this is still waiting. Okay, meanwhile this is coming and coming over and then dropping down. So it comes to a point where we just have to keep on blocking these up. So there'll be a backlog until it reaches over there. Like that. So what happens is that while this is still here waiting, it triggers the pusher to extend here and blocks out this one to wait here. This triggers this sensor that causes the pusher to extend and block out the rest of these that will be stockpiled over here. So meanwhile, it's like, hey, we've got only 1 stockpiled here, but we've got a lot stockpiled here. Previously, this was the one waiting for this. Now this is the one waiting for this one. So it seems. So now that one goes down there. This one comes down here. This one gets retracted for one of these to go away, which allows this to get retracted. So it goes over there. And before this one can come along, this extends and pushes it and waits. Causes it to wait. So then it stacks, but it's okay if it stacks. There's no problem with stacking. There's absolutely no problem with stacking. So now we are at 129 cycles. We've got 1 more to submit. 132, 137, 39, 139. So close. This solution will help us get the achievement 139 cycles. So yeah, how was it? I hope that was good. That's all I have for now. Have a nice day.